Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday. Damian Nelson sitting alongside Ron Sikowski. And Ron, how has your week been? Damn it, messed up. Can we start over? Oh, no, we can't. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. David, how are you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic.
No, that's a matter of opinion.
No,
I don't
seriously,
share it.
I'm great. I'm fantastic.
That's a matter of opinion.
Mm-hmm. It's my opinion. And that's what I'm the op.
Why are you so bitter when it comes time for Feedback Friday?
Because
why do you hate the peeps?
Because I get ridiculed and criticized.
You sound so sensitive. I get ridiculed and criticized.
Because they don't know. It's obnoxious.
They don't know?
They
read WikiLeaks.
Most people appreciate Fridays. When it comes to this, I don't.
You know, maybe we should, the Fridays I used to really appreciate? TGI Fridays, not the restaurant, but the ABC Friday night lineup. Remember Family Matters?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Family Matters. Was that with the special ed kid again?
Steve Urkel. And he was not special
he could
ed.
have been.
He was, that was Corky. And that was on Sundays. Life Goes On, 6 p.m. You did not watch TGIF?
If you would have said, no.
What was the other show? So it was the show that was in Milwaukee or in Wisconsin.
227?
That was in D.C.
Northern Exposure?
That was, nobody watched
Port Washington.
No, not Twin Peaks either. It was, there was another show. Grow,
First of all,
growing pains.
On
step by step.
Dancing show?
Step by step, with the guy that got shot in Dallas. He was in it. Bobby Ewing?
Yes. Again, Friday nights, I was busy.
Dumbfounded that I know you're 10 years my senior rather, but you didn't watch TGIF?
Dude, I was working.
Saturday nights on NBC, the Golden Girls, Empty Nest.
I was not going to watch Golden Girls. They're not my type.
They will be soon.
Doubt it.
Where did the wheels fall off this bus?
Because you tried making fun of me.
No, I didn't. I simply asked if you said you didn't like Feedback Friday. You missed the old Friday, so I asked if you like TGIF, which everybody who's watching the show knows.
No, I never said I missed the old Fridays. I never once said that. I said I used to like Fridays.
Agent Joe Friday?
That sounds familiar.
Dragnet.
That's it. Dragnet.
Just the facts, ma'am.
I watched Hawaii Five-0.
You used that line before. Just the facts, ma'am?
I do.
Send me the facts.
I watched Greatest American Hero. I watched Incredible Hulk. I watched all those.
But you still never watched The Greatest Show Ever Made. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message.
I watched American Idol.
Beep. Where could I be? George Costanza did a whole spin on the Greatest American Hero theme on his answering machine.
I remember. Yes, I saw a YouTube clip.
I can't, but I can get to this week's. You are impossible.
No, I'm not.
I am always so even keeled and single framed in my brain.
I'm just conversating with you,
and those conversations with me take me to a place I don't want to be.
And where's that?
And that, of course, the song just "Take Me There." I want to go there. Why are we not doing a pop culture show? Oh, that's right, because you never watched any of the cool shit.
I can wing it. Let's
get to your comments, folks, which is what this show is all about. And our first comment comes to us from
Great. First frickin' comment is about the demon. This is bullshit. This is the stuff I don't like.
This comes to us from a YouTube user by the name of Jeff Spencer. Jeff Spencer says this, and I quote, "Finn Balor will most likely have a role at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. It will not be against The Undertaker.
It'll be in catering with butter on it is what it's going to be.
It would not be against Undertaker, although that would be best for him."
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Have
him return and take the tombstone and last ride and chokeslam from Taker.
I'm thinking Samoa Joe will be tied up with the whole Seth Rollins Triple H feud. So it is unlikely that Balor will face Joe. Hero says there is no place to put him. And he may be very well right.
Of course I am.
However, Balor is expected to return by so many fans, and he has been since the Royal Rumble. The WWE would be wise to have him return very soon. Now, we talked about this yesterday on the PWR Primetime Extra podcast. You gave your thoughts there. How about doing it for the Friday audience?
I say Finn Balor returns on the Monday after WrestleMania.
In Orlando? So Finn Balor will return in Orlando, Florida.
At Raw. Not at Mania. That's how you spike the new season. Bring him back then. He's not needed now. There's no reason to bring him back right now. To put him in a meaningless match?
I will say this, and we gave credit to WWE for this on either Primetime or Primetime Extra, the podcast. They have been very deliberate and very purposeful in their booking, if you will. Whether you agree with where they've gone and gotten or not, everything has been logically built.
Yes.
And
it's been well
doing
written.
a hot shot wouldn't make sense with such a well thought out card this year.
No.
Again, doesn't mean you agree or have to agree or disagree with the matches, but I don't think you can disagree that they have logically gotten to the points of these matches happening, and they storyline wise make sense from a believability standpoint. So, thank you for that comment, Jeff Spencer. Aside from everything, I love everything you said, aside from where you say, and I quote, Hero says there is no place to put him, and he may very well be right. Next comment comes to us from a David.
That was the best sentence of the entire question.
David Stronach, who says, asks a question of us, and I quote, do you guys think that besides his sketchy history with Vince, that Jeff Jarrett will one day be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame?
There's no doubt. One day he will be.
Really?
Absolutely.
I was going to go absolutely not on that.
They're running out of guys.
J.E. double gone. That's what Vince said the first thing he said when he bought WCW and did the simulcast of Nitro and
right.
Raw on the USA Network.
If Vince can make money on it, absolutely. They brought back Bret Hart. They brought back the Ultimate Warrior. Bruno Sammartino came to the Hall of Fame.
Well, and those points are valid, but let's remember, Bruno didn't come back because of Vince. Vince had nothing to do with Bruno coming back. Vince had nothing to do with Warrior coming back. That was all Triple H.
Vince might not be alive when Jeff Jarrett goes in the Hall of Fame.
That's true, but Vince's grudges may not matter as much as they did in the past because Triple H has been handling those duties as of late. He can smooth the waters, if you will. Now, last week on Primetime, folks, I said that The Miz was comparable to Ric Flair. Not with his in-ring ability or his legendary status, but with his presentation currently in the ring. If you took Flair in the 80s and put him in the current decade, you'd have The Miz. I then, yesterday on Primetime Extra, said he is as good as Flair. And I stand by that. Miz is as good as Flair. However, one of you had a bit of a disagreement with that. And I think it's a fair question. Riley Brock, who says Bobby Roode is closer to Ric Flair than The Miz. There is some validity to that. I think you can do a final battle between Bobby Roode and The Miz from a presentation standpoint and ask who's closer to Flair. But when I look at Roode, I don't see Flair.
Is Jay Lethal.
Just because he can impersonate him?
Yes.
That is it for our first batch of comments here on Feedback Friday,
There's
ladies
more?
and gentlemen. There are. We've got two more after
my
this.
gosh.
Or do we have one more? I don't understand what
There's
that.
two.
There might be one. We'll see. But anyways, want to remind you that we've got a brand new series of podcasts due we here from the Pro Wrestling Report. This show, Feedback Friday, resides on its own podcast. Primetime resides on its own podcast, along with the all-new Primetime Extra.
But without the E.
For the purposes of you being able to read, the E was included in there by the scriptwriters. I know it's an X only.
When do I read the script?
You just did.
Oh, I guess I kind of did.
Primetime Extra podcast, which is only available on the podcast form. It's the extra edition of Primetime and Reaction, our live show on Mondays and Wednesdays and pay-per-view Sundays. All three separate podcasts right now available on the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store. All you need to do is search PWR, and boom, bam, schmazzle. They all pop up. Subscribe, review, and rate. All of those podcasts right now, great content available for you now. As a matter of fact, let's tell you more about the new PWR podcasts.
The biggest party event of WrestleMania weekend is back. WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash presents Shenanigans Orlando. Join Nash and his friends for a huge VIP party Saturday, April 1st. Party with the biggest stars of wrestling at the pub at Point Orlando on International Drive to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Don't miss Shenanigans Orlando, hosted by Kevin Nash. Tickets are available now and going fast at PWRshow.com. That's PWRshow.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday. And one day, just one day,
Yes.
one of these days, if the world were exposed to the things that you say during the commercial breaks, if I were Billy Bush, your political career would be enhanced right now.
Well, okay.
Grab them by the...
I never said that.
No, you said a different part.
I was singing the Junkyard Dog song, Grab Them Cakes. That's what I said. See, you try to twist everything that I say.
What do you mean by cakes?
Cakes.
German chocolate? White
could be.
chocolate?
It could be
red
that.
velvet? Better than sex?
That's a pretty good cake.
Our final comment of the week, ladies and gentlemen, comes to us from a YouTube user by the name of Mr. Geek Therapy.
Oh, that's great. Really? Of all the names out there, that's what you come up with.
And
What
I
is
quote,
a geek therapy?
Room 38, room 380 on the third floor.
Oh, you've been there?
And I quote, SmackDown is killing Raw with their writing. If you've seen online on Rowan's Twitter, then I do believe that Rowan, of course, of the Wyatt family,
Eric Rowan,
dug up Sister Abigail and moved her body. I assume he's talking about before the fire. Also, the writing's on the wall for an AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon match at WrestleMania. Now, AJ feels he should have been gifted a championship match. Then he should have won the Battle Royal. Then he beat Harper twice. And now Shane is making him put his shot on the line against Orton. Fair points. Now there is a legitimate reason to have them face each other at Mania once Orton beats Styles. Now, to that point, they did do a good job setting that up. Because remember, Bryan was for Orton at the beginning of SmackDown Tuesday, and Shane was clearly for AJ Styles. And they sort of, even though the match had already been announced, they sort of got to announcing the matchup between the two. So good catch there, Mr. Geek Therapy. And that is the end of his comment.
But
so
here's the thing.
There's legitimate reason in his point to have
Randy
the match at
Orton
WrestleMania.
gave up his spot.
While he was the slave and Bray was the master.
Okay,
He made that-
and that changed?
Well, he's no longer part of
broke
the
his
Wyatt family.
chains?
He burned down the place his chains were attached to. Yes, so he's no longer the
I
slave
never
and
once
Bray.
saw him wear chains.
Well, you know, Randy Orton could have been considered an immigrant.
Well, what?
That's you didn't hear? That's the
didn't
new
come
word
in on
for
a door.
slaves. Ben Carson calls them immigrants.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah. But AJ Styles got screwed nonstop, which should make AJ Styles the babyface in that match. Shouldn't it?
Yeah,
You should want to cheer for AJ Styles and boo Shane McMahon.
yeah. But AJ's such a great heel that they can.
But he's a better babyface.
Is he?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Our final comment to us comes from another YouTube user. Unfortunately, our senior intern, Cal. Is he okay? Because he forgot the name on this one.
He's been very busy lately.
Is that right?
Yes.
What's her name?
I don't remember this week.
And I quote, and you know who this is if you wrote it, so again, I apologize for not giving you proper credit. But the question is, with these changes to TNA Impact Wrestling, what would you expect from them in 2017? Because I feel they deserve a deal on Spike TV in the USA as well, now that they've signed with Spike TV in the UK. I'll leave that one to you, David Hero. TNA making a ton of noise about their
I think they could get a
tribute to their past, but their growth to the future.
Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff and Bruce Pritchard all had good relationships with Spike TV.
Well, Bischoff isn't part of that mix
Well,
anymore.
right, but
He's
I'm
got
just
an active
saying,
lawsuit
but
as well.
two of the three are there.
Yeah.
But Bischoff's lawsuit is against TNA, not against Spike.
Sure.
The Dixie Carter-led TNA, not the Jeff Jarrett anthem TNA.
Do you think the Owl's going to be named Dixie? Wouldn't that be a great
They're
bib?
not gonna. No, they're not gonna use the owl. They took it off the logo.
David, for someone who's as versed in social media as you are, I'm
Yes.
surprised you haven't seen the tweets about the contest to name the Owl.
But
They're
okay.
making a thing out of this.
How
Ed
can-
Norholm or whatever it is
how
put out a
can-
tweet about naming the Owl.
How can you take it seriously if all you get is $150 in gift cards?
That's very valuable. So,
To who?
some.
Okay.
Just because you and Don West are tight and he sends you shit doesn't mean
yeah,
stuff.
but
Excuse my language. See, you're getting me all flustered here. I'm a
not my
broadcast
fault.
journalist. Did you want to? Are you gonna?
TNA has a lot of problems. They still have problems. They just lost some of their top stars. They couldn't get Bully Ray back in the fold. He's in Ring of Honor. The Hardys went to Ring of Honor. Mike Bennett's gone. Drew Galloway's gone.
But Alberto El Patron's there. Matt Morgan's back.
Right, but
Magnus is
here's the
back.
thing: is with Patron, you never know how he's going to react to anything. He's kind of wishy-washy.
Here's the thing. You remember the Arch Deluxe when McDonald's introduced it?
Is that when they had the hot and cold side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Epic failure, right? Remember Clear Coke?
No.
Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Epic failure. if they kept reintroducing those same things and saying it's all new, it's back, it's great again,
Yeah.
they would still be failures, right?
Yes.
TNA has reintroduced themselves how many times?
Oh, I know.
And now Bruce Pritchard's going to come on and say that TNA is no more, it's now Impact Wrestling. When they became Impact Wrestling, sort of, back then, they should have done that same thing. So the damage that was done by, I'll just say it flat out, Dixie Carter, is irreparable to that company.
I agree.
And new TV deal, old TV deal, when people hear Impact Wrestling, when they hear TNA, they unfortunately will still associate it with the bad business dealings of Dixie Carter. And it's going to be difficult to get in the room and get meetings with people because of those bad
I agree.
relationships.
I am not disagreeing with you.
So it's not TNA's, let me see.
The
It's not
only
anybody
advantage
who's
they
there's
have
fault
is
now.
Anthem. Anthem has stroke. They
True.
got money.
True, absolutely. They've already used their platform to bring TNA wrestling to fans in Canada, and that's a good point. They could definitely use that.
See?
As long as they're on Pop TV, the TV Guide Network, their reach is not capable of reaching the vast audience that they've reached in the past. Their broadcast does not look as polished. And I'm not talking about their production values, but just the mere broadcast on Pop TV is not as polished
It's the old
as,
TV Guide Network.
as,
What do you
as,
expect?
as shows on other channels, and that is a challenge for me to watch.
I
It
agree.
really is. It really is.
Absolutely.
So with that, David Hero, that is Feedback Friday. So you made it through, okay? It's
I
all right.
did. I
No
survived.
problem. And that is our last broadcast for
Have you
this
seen King Kong
week.
yet?
It just opened today.
No, last night they were
Last night,
screenings.
7 o'clock p.m. I was busy. I was doing prime time.
Have
You
seen,
weren't here.
Have you seen Wolverine yet?
Logan?
Yeah.
I didn't see Wolverine, nor did I see Logan.
You should see that. I think you would appreciate it.
It's
It's not Captain America, but, you know. You okay?
Yeah, I was
What,
letting you
tear in your
finish. I was letting you finish. The last movie I saw was The Great Wall, which I thought
They
was
did a
absolutely
documentary
fantastic.
on that already?
The Great Wall of China, David Hero, 5,500 miles long, the only man-made object to be seen from space. Parts of it are now underground. It's so old. The Great Wall with Matt Damon, which I thought was a brilliant
He's not
masterpiece. I saw it
Chinese.
at Man's Chinese Theater in.
Matt Damon's not Chinese.
I just realized the irony of this. I saw it at Man's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles.
You were in L.A.?
I was in Los Angeles for about a couple of weeks ago. Yes, the week we were not
Oh,
broadcasting.
that's right. Yes, yeah. Wow, that's kind of...
I did not realize the
That's
irony of
very
it.
kabuki-ish, isn't it?
The Great Kabuki was not in that movie.
Yeah.
At least I couldn't tell. They had a lot of soldiers or whatnot. But you know what? I'm going to see the Kong movie because love the ride at Universal, which we'll participate in Orlando when we go for WrestleMania. I liked the last movie as long as I don't need to endure the whole journey they took to get to the island. Just put me on the island and start fighting stuff, and I'm good to go.
Well,
I do like how they did this, where there's not only one Kong. There's a series of Kongs.
Oh, there's more than one King Kong?
That's how they did this because the last King Kong died. This movie is part of that movie. It's a
So it's his
continuation.
kids.
Could be his mother, his father, his uncle, his
Oh,
brother.
there's no way. They'd be so old.
I don't think we ever had an age of Kong divulged. He could have survived the fall off of Empire State Building. The movie went off the air. The last one went off the air.
Yes.
With that. But anyways, nobody.
Then how do you get back to the island?
Maybe Scotty took him,
Scotty.
beamed him up.
So Star Trek is in this too?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's edition of PWR Feedback Friday. I want to make sure you check us out on our podcasts, including this epic journey that has been. And also, big reminder, if you didn't hear on primetime yesterday, for our audience in southeastern Wisconsin, Pro Wrestling Report is going back to its roots. We are returning to television in Milwaukee, Friday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. on Channel 14. We will be starting that next week, David Hero, which is also our 800th episode of primetime and our 19-year anniversary of being on this wrestling journey that we've been 19 years.
pretty
19
awesome.
years. And we celebrate by going home to Channel 14 on television in Milwaukee next Friday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Our broadcast on Fight TV and YouTube will remain the same. And also, you can now get all of our content on the go with our podcast as well. Just search PWR on Google Play or the iTunes Store, and then subscribe, review, and rate the Pro Wrestling Report podcast. This is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.